Hey guys, Quick and Quasar here, back again with another Battlefront 2 video. In this video, I'm actually going to be giving you kind of a bit of a guide for the heavy class, but more specifically for Supercharged, Supercharged Sentry. That's what it's called. And basically, what this is, for anyone that doesn't know, is the Supercharged Sentry, or the Sentry turret version of the heavy class, which is what I've got now. It basically just, makes your gun, super rapid fire, makes it into this sort of chain gun mode. Now, what Supercharged Sentry does is it basically just adds explosive shot to every round. It makes it explosive. It's incredibly powerful. It's great for taking any kind of class down or hero down. It's really good. It's really good. It's even good against vehicles and starfights. It's not so good against starfights if you've got the accuracy of me, but if you've got good accuracy, it can even be good against starfights. So this is going to be a bit of a guide about how to best use it. Now, I'm in arcade right now, which, some will say, oh, yeah, well, it's not a guide then, because I'm playing against, AI enemies. The only reason I'm playing against AI enemies is so that I can, sort of pause and just explain my points and everything and sort of take it slowly instead of just being in a rush to get as many kills as I possibly can. Now, first and foremost, when you're rocking with the Sentry turret ability, or the Sentry ability, and just normal one or using the Supercharged Sentry, either one of them, your movement is incredibly impaired. It's much slower. It really struggles. I'll use it now. Look how slow you move. Not only do you move slowly, but you also turn slowly, because the gun that you're using is much heavier, I guess. The version of the gun, or the add-on to the weapon that you're using, is much heavier. So my first and sort of foremost tip would be to roll the left stick repeatedly. So I'll try and simulate how slow I will be using Supercharged Sentry. Roll it round like this, because you really can't do too many sort of complicated acrobatics when you're using Supercharged Sentry. You can't jump, you can't evade, so you really sort of at a big disadvantage if someone starts shooting at you. You can't move at all. You're tough, obviously, because you're a heavy class, but you can't move at all. So the best thing to do, right, I've got Supercharged Sentry back. The best thing to do is just like sort of strafe like this. It's not going to save your life if you're fighting against 7 snipers in one open space. What it is going to do, it's going to make it harder for people to get headshot on you, an instant kill. Because if someone gets a headshot on you, and that doesn't give you a chance to retaliate or fight back, they're just going to kill you instantly, generally, unless they're using a potato gun or something. They're going to kill you instantly. So yeah, roll the stick like that. Also, don't shoot at a close range enemy, as the explosive shots are explosive, and they will do damage to you. They'll, say this guy here, if I shot him with Supercharged Sentry, the damage would splash back at me. Now, not so much damage, because it is just splash damage after all. It's going to be reduced, and, say if you stood, the enemy is that wall, so if you stood this far away, it's not going to be that much, like that high damage, but say if your health's already low, or if you've already taken damage, which you probably already have if you're in the middle of a gunfight with someone that's stood 3 feet away from you, you're gonna die. It's if your health's already low, it's gonna drop your health even more, and even if you don't die, you're gonna be a super easy target. You're gonna be easy pickings for another enemy. Say if he's over there, this is the enemy I'm fighting, and say there's an enemy over there. My health's, I took this guy out, my health's low, but so there's a guy over there that's gonna take me out. So don't shoot closely at a close range enemy. Also, another thing, if your teammates are around you, I can't really show you this in arcade, because they're just arcade AI enemies just wandering around doing their own little robotic thing. But if a lot of the time you'll say if I was stood here, a lot of the time you'll be shooting at a dude here, and some freaking moron will just come and stand in the way. You guys will know this. You guys will know the struggle. Everyone encounters this sooner or later. Some moron will just come and stand right in the way of your bullets, and the thing is, that's going to bounce the bullets back at you, and all of the damage, you're going to receive splash fire damage as well. It won't damage them, because there's no friendly fire, unfortunately, because those types of people I'd really like to kill, like, friendly fire kill. But there's no friendly fire, so they won't receive any damage, but their bodies will collide with the explosive shot, and they'll bounce it back at you, and if they do that, again, it'll drop your health, it'll kill you, or at least make you easy pickings for another enemy. So yeah, bear that in mind. Also, someone takes cover before you can kill them, shoot the ground around that cover. Now I'm going to try and demonstrate this now. Or I don't really need anyone to demonstrate this. Say if they were to take cover here. Okay, they're here. I was over there. I was shooting them with Supercharged Sentry. I was shooting them with Supercharged Sentry here. Instead of just giving up, hang on, let me just take out this moron. I'm trying to record, bro. Leave me alone. Oh god. instead of just giving up when that guy takes cover, shoot at the ground. Try and get as close to where they're taking cover as possible, or try and aim as close to where they're taking cover as possible, and shoot at the ground. This again, the splash damage is pretty major with Supercharged Sentry, and it will take them out. It really will, because you get quite a lot of shots with Explosive Shot or Supercharged Sentry. And the thing is, each individual shot doesn't do that much damage, but because that fire rate is so high, and it's just massive. It's just, Jesus, it's like a proper chain gun. It's crazy. Because the fire rate is so high, that little bit of explosive damage will really add up. And it will take them out. It really will take them out. Again, if they're taking cover here, I shoot them through the doorway, then they hide behind the door. Try and position yourself so you've got as good of a shot, you know, at them as possible. So here would be the best shot, where I can shoot sort of into their cover. That splash damage is 100% going to take them out if they're still behind the cover. If they run away like a coward, then, you know, you're screwed. You're not going to get a kill. But you will be able to do some damage to them before they run away, hopefully netting you an assist when one of your teammates clears up that kill for you, and it will get you some extra battle points so you can go and, you know, harness your inner Wookiee warrior like I always like to, and select a Wookiee warrior if you want to. That was a bit of a tangent, I apologize. But yeah, bear that in mind. Take pauses when firing, as this will regain your accuracy. Everyone knows to sort of temper their firing when using a high rate of fire weapon, because obviously look at the reticle. The reticle will grow and grow and grow as you continue to shoot, and this is, you know, completely super apparent with the heavy class. You know, assault has this. The aiming reticle does grow with continuous and constant fire with assault, but the thing is, it's much more present and much more noticeable with the heavy class. It's much more noticeable with the heavy class, and especially if you're trying to fight at long range. Heavy is the worst class out of all four at fighting at long range. So if you're trying to take someone out at long range, and just bear that in mind, take pauses. Pause. I'll actually show you now. Shoot a little bit, but then after a while, look at the aiming reticle, and also the recoil will send your gun up. Shoot for about a second or two, let go, second or two, let go, second or two, let go. Very good way at taking people out long range, or really at all. Unless someone's right up in your face, like here, for example, you don't need to temper your fire, and you can just take him out. That'll be an easy kill. But if he's sort of medium range, then or even long range, definitely pause, and pause, and you will take them out. Sort of add a couple of pauses to your fire rate, and you will take them out. Now, so if you find a hero or a villain, God forbid you do, especially if it's like Darth Vader, because there's no taking Darth Vader down as a normal trooper, but to help you along, to get you more assist points, I guess, fire at the feet of a hero or villain. Let's say it's Vader, Mr. Tanky Bullet Sponge. Let's see, he is blocking with a lightsaber. If you shoot at his saber, it's not like the last Battlefront, where if you shot at a blocking hero, let's say again Vader, it would blast back those explosive shots back at you. Actually, no, they patched that and they changed that actually in the last Battlefront after a few months. But basically, it's not going to bounce the explosive shot back at you, but it is going to block those explosive shots if you fire into the hero or villain's lightsaber. It is going to block those explosive shots, and they're still going to receive a bit of damage from it because it's a rapid amount of mini explosions, so it's still going to damage them. But it's not going to. Most of the damage is going to be reduced because they're blocking. So bear that in mind. Don't shoot at the saber. Shoot at their feet. Fire at the feet. So let's say this dude is a hero. Fire at his feet. Obviously, well, I forgot to equip Supercharged Sentry. Fire at his feet. See, did you see this freaking teammate here? Look, your bullets actually bounce back off you, and if you get close enough, it does damage you. It's really annoying. It does damage you. Maybe not in arcade. It wasn't damaging me then, but it does in like real multiplayer. I know I said real life then. No, real multiplayer. It will still damage you. And like I said, with heroes, fire at their feet with a Supercharged Sentry. I keep forgetting this goddamn name. It's a bit of a mouthful as well. Supercharged Century. It's a bit of a mouthful. I gotta slow down a little bit. But yeah, fire at their feet. Or not necessarily at their feet. Don't try and hit their feet, because sometimes the lightsaber will actually reach that far and block it. Fire like in front of their feet, and it will do damage to them. They'll get splash fire damage, and because it's right in front of their sort of character model, it will do a lot of damage because you'll be firing quite close to where they actually are. Now, Supercharged Sentry is the best long-range form of attack for the heavy class. Generally, the heavy class, like I said earlier, is terrible at long range. I mean, it's not as good as some of the officer weapons. some of the officer weapons, like the pistol and stuff, they're quite good at long range. They're not amazing, but they are quite good. And if you sort of just, again, temper your fire and leave pauses between each shot, you can actually take people out at long range. All of the assault weapons are good for long range if you know what you're doing and if you're used to using those guns. Very good at long range. Obviously, specialist, massively good at long range because, obviously, snipers, very good at long range. But heavy, not good at long range. None of the heavy weapons that you can unlock to this point. Maybe they'll add some later on, and you guys will watch this like in 2 months and then call me a liar. But currently, all of the heavy weapons are high rate of fire, close to medium range weapons. Nothing's really good for long range. I mean, you can try and fight at long range, and sometimes you will get a kill if an enemy's low on health or just moronic and doesn't take cover. But generally speaking, you're not going to get many kills. And if you're fighting against, someone who's a specialist or an assault, you're going to get taken out by that specialist or an assault. They will out-snipe you. They will counter-snipe you, and it will not go good. Supercharged Sentry, however, is incredibly good at long range. I'll demonstrate this now. This is kind of medium to long range. Very good at long range, especially if you sort of temper your fire and let go of the trigger occasionally. It's very good. I guess you could class it as sort of medium to long range, probably medium range still. But yeah, like I said, heavy class is typically the worst class for long range combat, but the Sentry, Supercharged Sentry, is very good at long range. It's also epic for counter-killing snipers, because the sniper class, or specialist, has only 100 health. It's got the lowest health of any class in Battlefront 2. Because of that, very good, save there's just this freaking pesky sniper that keeps killing you, keeps headshotting you. I know, because I'm that pesky sniper. I always do that. Especially in like Naboo, the start of Naboo, where everyone starts out in Galactic Assault. I'm always one of those snipey douches that just headshots everyone. If someone keeps getting you and you can see their sniper glint, pop in and out of cover, activate Supercharged Sentry, pop. Oh, these freaking morons, I should have just turned AI off. Keep popping in and out of cover. Occasionally, if you take some damage, go back into cover, but you probably won't take too much damage. And you will take them out. They will not be able to headshot you, or it'll be very hard for them to headshot you, or even hit you at all, because you're going to be hitting them with explosive shot, which is going to make their sort of screen shake. And it's going to increase their recoil, basically. It's going to be hard for them to be super accurate when trying to kill you. So bear that in mind. Very good for counter-killing snipers, or just long-range killing anything, really. Don't fire if you don't need to. Once my Supercharged Sentry recharges, I'm just going to call it the Sentry at this point, because it's a mouthful. Once it recharges, right, I've got it now. Instead of, say there's a few guys here, instead of killing all these guys and then just holding your finger down on the trigger and hoping that there's going to be an enemy that's going to walk in front of you, because I'm playing against AI, there is enemies that are all walking in front of me, but real players will not do this. They will not do this normally. Instead of just holding your finger on the trigger and just hoping that, sooner or later you get another kill with Supercharged Sentry, when you run out of people to kill, or there's no obvious targets, but you've still got Supercharged Sentry active, don't fire it, because if you don't fire it, if you save it, again, I'm going to wait for it to recharge now. If you save it and don't fire it, only fire it when you see enemies like so, then when when there is, right, I'll activate it now. When I see, don't fire now, for example. Don't hold it down now, because it's the timer at the side is going to tick down much faster than if you just save the shots and don't fire now. Now it's slowed down a little bit. Now I see enemies, shoot them. And then once you kill these enemies, save it. Instead of, I see a lot of people just holding their finger down, spamming the trigger basically, and praying to the Star Wars gods that sooner or later one of these random streams of bullets is going to hit somebody. That means that you're going to run out of Supercharged Sentry much faster, so bear that in mind too. It will last a lot longer. Don't use Supercharged Sentry while standing in an open area. Tatooine isn't, well, Mos Eisley, not really that problematic, because there's no real open areas on this map. I mean, there is. This is kind of an open area here. This main, I'm going to die to show you this, but that main, the main sort of road, I can't get to it now because I'm playing on arcade, but the main road that sort of circles all of Mos Eisley, that's the most open area on Tatooine. Don't stand in an open area when there isn't nearby cover when using Supercharged Sentry, because you're so much slower, because you're so slowed down. It's like you're stuck to the ground. You can't jump, you can't evade, and it takes quite a while to scroll around. Don't stand like here, would class as an open area. Don't stand here, for example, because you're just going to be super exposed. Instead, use it from here, for example. Use it from here. Use it from somewhere that you can get to. You know, use it from behind or next to cover that you can get to quite easily, even with the reduced speed. Otherwise, you're going to be a very easy target. You're going to be like just a freaking waddling duck in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of an open spot. You're going to be very easy targets for anyone that's, say, up on one of these buildings, or a sniper or something. Just bear that in mind. Don't stand in an open area. Now, on to the next point. When firing at a group of enemies, don't shoot enemies individually. Fire at the ground instead, and you'll be able to kill the entire group, or stand a much better chance of killing the entire group. So I'm going to try and demonstrate that. This guy's on his own, so I can't really demonstrate it now. Let's see if we can kill that scout trooper scum. I've got to try and find a group of enemies. Basically, what I mean by this is, say if there's like 3 enemies just moving up here, instead of trying to take them out one by one with Supercharged Sentry, which is what you'd usually do, obviously with a normal weapon, without using Sentry Turret, or even it's what you'd usually do with, you know, a normal Sentry Turret ability, not using the Supercharged Sentry version. Instead of just taking them down one by one, fire at the ground. Try and find somewhere that's between all of this. Say we've got one enemy there, one there, and one there. Instead of taking them down one by one, try and fire in between all of them. It makes, you know, it sounds like common sense, but you'd be surprised at how, you know, how many people don't do this. Shoot between them. Try and find like the common ground between each and every enemy that you're firing at, and just fire. Like, just fire into them, and you'll do damage to all of them. So even if you don't kill all of them, you'll receive like assist kills, or assist elimination, or at least assist points later on. It'll help you get more battle points. It might even help you get more kills as well, because you might be able to take them down. All of them, take them down. And obviously, Supercharged Sentry, you've got quite a lot of ammo. I haven't upgraded Supercharged Sentry at all. I don't know if there are any upgrades for it, but I haven't upgraded it at all. You've got quite a bit of ammo. I'll use it now. It lasts for quite a while, but this is sustained fire, so you will have enough bullets to finish off everyone. Look, this is how long it's lasting. It's crazy. Even with your finger down, spamming the trigger, that's how long it lasts, unupgraded. So, you know, you will be able to take down a group of enemies. Even if there's like 4 or 5, you will. As long as you find the common ground, you know, the piece of ground that's between all of them that they all share, instead of shooting to the left or to the right. Try and shoot between all of them, in the middle of all of them, and you will take them out. You will take them out. You get a lot of kills from that. I've gone on I've gone on like 30 player kill streaks, just for the simple fact that I keep shooting between groups instead of trying to single them out. It's really, really good. And it's really good, like I said, for getting those residual assist points that really help out with getting more battle points. You know, if you want to get a hero or into a starfighter or a tank on Naboo, anything like that, very good. Supercharged Sentry is awesome for killing vehicles, not necessarily from the front or the side. Like, say if you're fighting, well, the tank on Naboo, for example, since I mentioned it before, it's obviously going to increase your damage against them, but it's not going to be that good against them. It really, really excels at taking out vehicles. If the vehicles turn, obviously it's, I think everyone knows this at this point, vehicles from the rear are, you know, if you shoot a vehicle from the rear, they're much weaker, and you can actually tear through a lot of the tanks and stuff, just with normal blasters, normal officer pistols, normal sort of assault, A280 assault rifles or something. You can tear through them quite quickly if you fire into the rear, but with Explosive Shot, with Supercharged Sentry, it takes it to a whole new level, and you don't even need to rely on Iron Shot, like an Iron Shot Star Card upgrade, which, you know, that's the kind of bullets that do more damage against vehicles. The reason I don't use that is because it does more damage against vehicles, but it's useless against infantry. It drops your damage by like half, like 50%. If you fire against infantry using Iron Shot. So I don't rock with that. Supercharged Sentry is a much better option, and you're still going to do increased damage to vehicles. And like I said, because you've got you can fire for so long with Supercharged Sentry, you're definitely going to be able to take out a vehicle or two using using just one charge or one magazine. I don't know what you call it. It's very good, very good. Also, be ready to deactivate Supercharged Sentry. This is another kind of sounds like common sense, but people don't do it. Say if this guy, I don't know, let me get into somewhere a little bit more open. It's good that I moved then, because a sniper shot flew over my head. Say I'm shooting here, some dude comes out, or say I'm shooting down there, and some guy comes around here to shoot me. Instead, say I've got Supercharged ability active. He comes around there, instead of, I can see that I'm taking damage from there, for example. Instead of trying to turn, because your sensitivity is turned massively down when you're using Supercharged Sentry, and your turning circle is going to be massively impacted. You can't roll, and you can't jump. Instead of scrolling all the way around, click left bumper and right bumper, or if you're on PS4, L1 and R1, and it will deactivate it, and that's just going to deactivate it instantly, and then you'll be able to jump around or do an evade and then try and counterattack. You're going to have a much better chance of survival and a much better chance of taking that dude down than if you try and scroll down or scroll around slowly like a freaking snail speed using the Supercharged Sentry. It's gonna be right. I'll do it now, for example. Instead of scrolling around like this, say a guy pops out. If you scroll around like this, you're gonna die instantly. Instead, deactivate it, roll, and then do whatever you want. Try and take him out. That's the best thing to do. Or even, because we're playing heavy class, use your impact grenades. Impact grenades are very good at close range. And not too close range, obviously, because then that's just going to kill you as well. Also, camp objectives. I can't really show you this on arcade. There's no real way of me demonstrating this in arcade, because there's no objective. Let me, for example, let's say there's an objective here. Let's say that droid, let's say we're playing Droid Run from the original Battlefront that came out 2 years ago. And we're camping that droid, okay? Or, no, that's the droid that we need to defend, for example. Enemy team is coming in. Don't just stand next to it and be like, you're basically a bullet shield. Don't just stand next to it, because someone's going to walk around a corner and take you out. What you should do, go and find a hidden place. For example, here. Or, actually, I hate places like this on my sides because there's so much crap. There's so much rubble. Find a hidden spot where you've got, like, a pretty decent shot at the objective and just literally camp it. Like, for example, this isn't a great spot because you're very exposed to it, but find a spot where you can still see the droid or the objective and camp, and then as soon as you see someone come around, just blaze that freaking target, blaze that objective. You will rip right into them, and if there's multiple ones, again, use the tip that I said about firing into a group. You will annihilate them. You will destroy them. You really will. So do that. Very good. But like I said, don't sort of like stand here and just like chill with the objective. Go and fight. Even up there, that's a very good spot. I can't remember how to get up there. I think it's up there. That's a very good spot. Before I end the video, I'll actually show you, I guess. I think, God, it's such a pain to get up there, but it's such a good spot. Okay, no, I don't think I can get up there. Oh, wait, no, I can. Okay. This spot up there, just to give you an example, I guess. Very good spot. Right, remember that droid is sort of the example of an objective. We can see the droid is there. For example, this would be a very good spot. You wait for someone to come around the corner and then just destroy them. Very good. Like I said, very good at long range as well. And obviously take pauses, like I said before. Look at his little head going up and down. That looked quite funny, actually. You'll destroy them much better than if you just camp with your normal weapon. It's not going to do anywhere near as much damage. Anyway, they are all the tips that I've got. Share your own in the comments if you want. It would actually be really helpful, because I got those tips from about a week of playing as heavy. I've only played as heavy for a week. And that's what I've learned. That's what I think helps so far. I'm not claiming to be the best at playing as a heavy. That's just what I've found really improves my gameplay. If you've seen my most recent videos and streams, you'll see that I am in fact doing a lot better with heavy than I did when the game first came out. And these are the things that I've done. These are the things that I've learned to improve on the game. So remember them, and like I said, share your own in the comments. Let me know what you think. If this video was helpful for you or interesting at all, definitely leave a like. It would really help me out, and I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see any more of my videos, a lot more guides like this, but also just plain sort of, straight up gameplay videos, free moment videos, streams and stuff. If you want to see those, tons of Battlefront 2 content, definitely stick around and subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.